fight here in the middleweight division between Elvis Adonisi and Eric Spalding. This is an interesting fight because Elvis Adonisi has had 14 fights. He hasn't fought the same caliber opponent as Eric Spalding. Eric Spalding's at 17. He's fought the better type of opponent than Adonisi, but an interesting fight for Adonisi.
Okay, well, let's move to the second bout of this evening. It's in the middleweight division and scheduled for 6 rounds. This bout is brought to you by Jumbo Cash and Carry. Let's bring him in the ring, Elvis Adonisi. Judging this bout, judges Measure, Hop, and Combination. The man in charge, your referee, Alfred Bukwana. Introducing first, is on my left, fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the white trunks with the red trim. He weighed in at 51.60 kilograms. His record as a professional, 13 fights with 7 victories, 4 defeats and 2 draws. I give you Elvis Adonisi. And across the ring, the man staring him down. That's his opponent, is on my right and is fighting out of the blue corner. He's wearing the red and white trunks. He weighed in at 51.90 kilograms. His record as a professional, an outstanding one. 14 fights, 13 victories, and only 1 defeat. Introducing Eric Spalding.
Well, this is a middleweight bout just scheduled for 6 between Elvis and Adonisi. He's got red and white shorts. He's got the black boots on. And Eric Spalding, he's got the white boots with the red and white shorts. So it should be an interesting contest. Spalding hasn't fought this year, so it's his first fight in 1996. Possibly a little bit of ring rust. He's fought as a junior middleweight. It's his first fight in the middleweight division.
First fight in the middleweight division, and of course moving up from Natal to box in the Gauteng region against Elvis Adonisi, who's had a couple of fights down in Durban, in Spalding's home city. It's quite interesting, quite a contrast in the weights here actually, because Spalding, normally a junior middleweight, he's coming pretty heavy, and Adonisi actually giving away almost 4 kilograms in weight on the scorecard, so we have.
Some good shots coming there from Adonisi. Adonisi's just over the junior middleweight limit. He's well inside the middleweight limit of 72.58. Spalding with 72.30 right on the limit. And good body shots coming there from Adonisi.
Yes, Spalding's going to have to watch for that.
If anything, I would say, and Spalding's got a little bit of tie around the middle.
Well, I imagine that would be, because this man, as we know, is normally fought in the division beneath that. And having been out of action for quite a while, one wonders just how fit and active he will be.
Now, looking at Spalding's record, I see his last fight was against Bernard Zwane in December in 1995, which he lost on points. And his previous fight was in London, which he lost on a KO for the WBO Intercontinental Junior Middleweight title.
That's right. He had a very promising career until he walked into that fight with Giovanni Pretorius a couple of Decembers ago down in Durban, and he was stopped in that. Never quite been the same since, I don't think.
Yeah, you can show, see the ring rust here tonight. He's very slow, ponderous, and Adonisi's had quite a few fights. This year he's had 2 fights already. He's had one in May and one in June. He won them both. So he's pretty sharp as in Adonisi.
Well, he's a fighter who's had a bit of an in-and-out record and shown promise, and yet hasn't quite lived up to it on occasion. But more recently, I think he's been taking his boxing a great deal more seriously. I know that he's a student in some commercial course, and at the same time working as a part-time worker out at Johannesburg Airport. So I think he's been involved in studies and things like that, but this year he seems to have taken his boxing seriously. He's looking a lot better for it.
Well, he's looking much sharper the 2 tonight, and a ponderous left hand coming there from Eric Spalding. That's Eric Spalding down from Durban in the red and white shorts with the white boots. If you can see the white boots, that's Eric Spalding. And the black boots is Elvis Adonisi. Much more aggressive Adonisi here tonight. I've seen him in previous fights and he's been rather negative. But I must say, he's taking the fight to his more fancied opponent.
I noticed Spalding switched over to the southpaw style in the last minute of that fight. Quite interesting about that. And I wonder if it's not to try and stop those body shots that were coming in, because he was really getting banged in the body from those Adonisi body punches, and I think he might have switched over to try and stop that coming through.
Oh, very good round there for Adonisi. The second round of this middleweight contest, scheduled for 6, between Elvis Adonisi and Eric Spalding. That's Eric Spalding in the red and white shorts and white boots, and Elvis Adonisi in the red and white shorts and the black boots.
Adonisi is a product of that enormous stable out in Tembisa run by Archie and Yingwa. Some pretty good fighters come out of it, and Archie, one of those fellows who really puts his heart and soul into training boxers. And I think Elvis is probably one of his better ones at the moment, and someone he's hoping that will really emerge into a possible title challenger in the near future.
Well, a more focused Elvis Adonisi than we've seen in this year. He's really taking his boxing seriously and looking very focused tonight.
Yes, he's certainly putting a great deal more effort into his punches. He's not wasting shots.
His body blows. He's going to the soft midriff of Eric Spalding, and that's going to pay dividends as the fight progresses.
Yes, 6 rounds is going to be rough to go through if you're going to be hit with those shots in the body all the time. Spalding gone back to the orthodox style. It's that left hand of Adonisi's that's been catching him under the ribs there. Spalding actually coming more into the fight now. He's starting to do a little bit more than he was in the first round.
Really slow start in that first round, but as I say, he's hitting back now. He's catching Adonisi in a few shots there.
He's trying to cuff a lot of his punches is Spalding. I noticed that, especially when he's going on the back foot like that, his right hand comes in a very cuffing fashion.
Lose a lot of power when you do that.
I'm back to being a southpaw again.
Looking through his record, I see he's fought quite a few southpaws. He's been against 4 southpaws and he's beaten them all. So, rather interesting that he's starting in the southpaw stance himself.
There's that left hook going into the body. It went a bit low then from Adonisi, but that's the shot that he's been catching Spalding with and giving Spalding quite a bit of trouble. Very snappy left-hand leads coming from Adonisi too. His left jab work is vastly improved.
That's it. It sets him up for the right hand and keeps the box all balanced. And
he's the lighter man by quite a margin here, and yet he doesn't look to be any smaller than Spalding.
I'd say he's taller than Spalding. He came in at 68.4 and Spalding at 72.30. That's 4 kilograms. It's quite a big difference. There's a good right hand there from Adonisi.
There's one thing about Adonisi, when he misses one shot, he goes through with another very quickly, and there's good punches coming in, which is catching Spalding with. And another right-hander to the head, and a left hook.
Another good round there for Elvis Adonisi.
That's the end of the round. Referee Bukwana had to move quickly between them there because I don't think they heard the gong.
Well, they had a good go. There was more action after the bell than there was before the bell, possibly.
Keep that pass up. The minute shot. Left man. Special. Please do it. And don't drop it. That's shy.
Well, here we see some slow motion from that round. And there's the punches from Adonisi finding their target. Catching. That's right at the end of the round where referee Bukwana had to jump in and stop them because they were really punching away at the closing stages. Let's hope they keep up that pace because it really started to hot up as the round came to an end.
Well, it's been quite an easy fight for referee Alfred Bukwana to handle up until then, but he jumped in fairly quickly there. A former fighter himself, quite an impressive record, fought back in the 60s as a featherweight. Looks like he can get back in the ring now as a featherweight. Hasn't put on much weight over the years. It's all Adonisi has so far in the first 2 rounds. Looking very convincing tonight is Elvis Adonisi.
Yeah, Spalding inclined to hold when he can. Don't blame him because some of those shots from close in have been hurting him. Hasn't got a lot of answer to that jabbing left of Adonisi's, and of course the body shot goes underneath that, and that seems to be worrying Spalding.
Well, even though Adonisi is the lighter man, he seems to have an edge on reach, and he's using it to his advantage.
Yes, with the extra weight, Spalding hasn't been able to make much use of it. And there he's got a bit of a cut above the left, no, it's the right eye. The right eye, and the blood's starting to pour down from it for Spalding. Can't quite see how far there. He's got his hands held high there. He's taken a couple of shots on it. But now Adonisi going in, all action. Both hands blazing.
It seems to be on the side of the eye, and the right eye. Is it on the eyelid? That's going to run into his eye and cause him a lot of trouble as the fight goes on. But nothing coming back from Spalding. It's been all Adonisi so far in this 3rd round.
Yes, Adonisi very much on the offensive here. He's doing most of the attacking now, and he's catching Spalding repeatedly with those long shots to the head.
That's Elvis Adonisi taking the fight to Spalding now.
Spalding on his bicycle going backwards. He's in quick retreat. There's less than a minute in this round to go, and so far it's been all Adonisi.
So far, right from the first bell, it's been all Adonisi. Unless Spalding does something special, he won't get back into this fight.
Well, he does land one left hand to the head, but for moving into the southpaw style, he doesn't really throw the left hand correctly at all.
I don't think he's a natural southpaw. He's a natural orthodox fighter. I can't understand why he's trying to fight as a southpaw. Possibly trying to confuse Adonisi.
I think he's trying to use it as a protection against those body shots, because it's that left hand to the body that's coming in and it's been worrying him. There he's doing his best to keep out of trouble. Extremely fighting back, but he's a little bit out of his depth against Adonisi at this stage.
Another very good round there for Elvis Adonisi.
Elvis, check what you're doing. Come on, Elvis, do it.
Well, some action from that third round there, and you can see good left hands coming in on the right hand, and it's been like this right throughout the fight, and he's taking the fight to his more experienced opponent. We're into round 4 now, this middleweight contest, scheduled for 6, and it's been all Elvis and Adonisi for 3 rounds. And if boy from the towel wants to get back into the fight, Spalding, he'll have to do something special now, because he's not throwing enough punches, and all the action's coming from Elvis and Adonisi.
Well, he doesn't actually seem to have the answer to that spear-like left hand of Adonisi's, and also Adonisi getting away quite easily with his body shots. And Spalding, very orthodox, very sort of upright in his movements, but he keeps switching to the southpaw stance, and he seems to unbalance himself.
He seems to have gone back in his career, because he was one of the prospects, nominated one of the prospects of the year a couple of years back, but he seems to have lost something. Here tonight, he's showing a lot of ring rust. He's been out since last year in December, and it's showing.
Yes, it's since that Giovanni Pretorius defeat, he seems to have been on a bit of a roller coaster. He's had a rocky ride. 2 bad defeats last year.
That's Eric Spalding in the red and white shorts. They both got red and white shorts. Eric Spalding got the white boots, and Elvis Adonisi with the black boots. But it's been all Adonisi. He's putting the pressure on, backing up Spalding, and all the point scoring punches coming from Elvis Adonisi.
There's very little coming back from Eric Spalding. A bit disappointing in this fight.
I think we expected much more from him coming into the fight. He's fought the better class opponent, and expected much more from a man with his experience.
Adonisi actually catching him quite easily here. Shots going into the head. There's Adonisi back into the body. He's catching Spalding repeatedly with those body shots, and he actually introduced a short right uppercut when he's in close to, and that's finding its mark. Bangs that right across the jaw of Eric Spalding. This is Adonisi very much in command of the situation now.
Possibly it's the best I've seen Adonisi fight. Started out his career a couple of years back, and as I say, in and out career, but he seems to have got everything together here tonight.
He gives you the impression, has always done that, he's the type of fighter who's going to be what you'd call a late starter. And I think he's just sort of coming into his own as a true professional now. I know trainer Archie Nyingwa thinks a lot of him, thinks he's got a big future.
Well, he's winning all these rounds here, and he's into the 4th round here, and it's been all Elvis Adonisi. He hasn't lost a round on my card. Another punch off the bell, and referee out of the corner didn't like that.
Well, that's 4 rounds down and 2 to go, and so far it's been very much Elvis Adonisi in command, as you can see here from the slow motion. He bangs that right down on the chin, and Spalding just doesn't get anywhere with the shots that he's throwing.
He's throwing punches, but he's not scoring, and all the scoring shots, Adonisi weaving, ducking underneath the shots, and coming in with his own, scoring to the body, and those shots, body shots, are slaying Spalding down.
There's that right uppercut. He started to introduce that during the last round, the short right uppercut to the head, and it was actually catching Spalding.
We're into round 5 of this contest scheduled for 6, and it's been all Elvis Adonisi for the first 4 rounds. I don't know, unless something special comes from Eric Spalding, it's going to be an easy win here for Elvis Adonisi.
Not exactly what you'd call a thrilling fight, but a useful exhibition coming from Adonisi. It's been rather a slow-paced type of fight.
Well, Adonisi doesn't pack a lot of power in his punches. Looking through his record, not many stoppages. Most of his fights have gone the distance. Workman-like performance, I'd say, from Adonisi.
In fact, has he ever? I don't think he's ever scored any stoppage.
Well, you're most likely right. You have a look at it. Yes.
Only once in his career that he was stopped
by Rene Dorfling. Back in
one other when he won on a disqualification, but all the rest of his fights have gone the distance. So I think you've got a case here of neither of them really being recognised punchers, and it's very much the case of which one is going to be the better boxer.
Well, so far it's been Elvis Adonisi. All the scoring's come down. He's working with the jab, and that must influence the judges.
Well, back to the southpaw style goes Eric Spalding. Not that it's doing him much good.
Eric Spalding's not doing enough work. He's mostly on defence, backing off, not throwing enough punches. So I don't know, he expects to win a fight.
Yes, he hasn't got the power to knock his opponent over, and yet he's prepared to go on the defensive like this.
Well, possibly. He's been out for it's now 8 months this year, so there's a case for ring rustiness, not 100% fit. So possibly just going through the motions, yeah.
Oh, the right hand banging away from Elvis Adonisi. Spalding taking a few shots to the head and body there. And those can't have done him any good.
Adonisi throwing good right hands there, and a lot of those right hands coming through, but nothing coming back from Eric Spalding.
No, he's very much a man on the retreat at the moment, doing his best to keep out of trouble. And he's running into all sorts of it as he goes along.
He's got to get off those ropes, because this is where all the scoring shots to the body, you can see red welts on his body from those body shots coming in from Adonisi.
Right now, I think it's a case of pure survival for Spalding and nothing else as we come to the end of round 5.
Well, Adonisi's pitched a shutout here on my card, 5 rounds in his favour.
Right, Elvis. And don't move that right. Right. Do it.
Well, some action from that 5th round, which has been all Elvis Adonisi. You can see barging in there and ducking and weaving and catching Spalding, which he's done right throughout the fight.
Well, here we go into round 6, the final round. Elvis Adonisi from Tembisa. Eric Spalding all the way up from Durban, fighting on this carousel tournament in a 6-round middleweight bout, in which, well, 5 rounds have all gone to Elvis Adonisi on our scorecards.
Well, starting the 6th round, he's going to pick up the 6th round too. I think Eric Spalding is well advised to get back down into junior middleweight, take a little bit of that flesh off the middle, because he's not really a middleweight.
Yes, I think if anything, that extra weight has certainly slowed him down. He's been very sluggish in his movements. Admittedly, he's been out of action for a while, but nonetheless, his movements have been very, very sluggish, and he's actually taken a little bit more punishment than he should have.
Adonisi putting on the pressure. Adonisi showing a lot of fitness here. He's been going flat out right from the first gong, and not even breathing very heavily at all. been pressurising Spalding right throughout the fight.
Spalding has done very little else than push out the odd left jab and occasionally throw a right. When he switches to southpaw, well, the left hand is hardly in use.
Well, I suppose he's fortunate that Adonisi doesn't pack a real punch, because he could have been down the canvas long ago.
Right now it's Adonisi pouring in the punches, banging away, gets into the body and head.
But nevertheless, a good performance by Adonisi. He's done what he's had to do, and he's throwing a lot of punches, and it's a matter of Spalding catching.
I think throwing is the word as well, Rod, because what Adonisi is doing, as you can see, is throwing them from the elbow onwards. That's why he's got no power in his shots.
Doesn't get the shoulder behind it and the body behind, and the movement from the leg. And quite correctly so. That's why there's no knockouts in his record. It's all points decisions.
So many fighters are like this. They're just not taught to punch properly. Nobody behind those shots.
The right hand coming there, but once again, very little power from Adonisi. Nothing coming back here from Eric Spalding. He's just going to hang in there. Tired Eric Spalding in the last round.
Half a minute to go, and this is all Elvis Adonisi. Spalding doing nothing to catch the eye of the judges.
No, definitely Elvis Adonisi, 6 rounds to 0 on my card.
Finishing it in pretty grand style as he throws shots in. Spalding glad to hold on.
Well, this has been right from the first bell, and a good performance by Elvis Adonisi against a better opponent, or a higher rated opponent than himself. So a good performance.
This will really push Adonisi's stocks up. I think it's going to make trainer Archie Nyingwa a much happier man. He's working on this young man. He's been working on him very hard, and I think he's starting to see the value of it now.
I've been to see how our judges scored here, because on my scorecard I gave 6 rounds to Elvis Adonisi, so he must be a good 6-point winner. But you never know how the judges score it, but I can't see Spalding scoring many points or winning any of those rounds.
You're having it at 60 to 54, are you?
I would say so. Let's see how good I am.
All right, well, I think I try to agree with you. I can't see Spalding having taken any points, so...
There's no doubt that the decision must go to Elvis Adonisi. A tired looking Eric Spalding. You can see, look at the draggle look on his face, hands down, a very tired young man.
They seem to have done a good job on that cut that appeared somewhere around about the 3rd round. We thought it was going to worry him, but they seem to have patched it up pretty well.
Yes.
It didn't worry him in the second half of the fight. There you can see the face, and that nick underneath the right eyebrow. That's where the blood was coming
It was
from.
never a factor in the fight. They sealed up right at the beginning of the round, and it never gave him a problem.
Well, you've got an old timer like Willie Towhill in the corner there. If anything, he knows what to do with a cut.
Well, all the experience in the world. A great champion in his day was Willie Towhill.
The other man in the corner, Ashley Furey, one-time middleweight boxer down in Natal, turned trainer nowadays.
Well, a lot of experience in that corner, but possibly Spalding just didn't have the fitness to even get near winning the fight. Well, I think it looks like they got the decision here.
Yes, I think we're going to get it, so it'll be... The referee Bukwana calls the boxers to the center of the ring, and we're getting ready to get the full announcement, see what the judges said. Here is David Becker to tell you what they decided.
Ladies and gentlemen, the way that judges saw the bout, Judge van Nevenezen scored the bout 60 to 55. Judge Merger scored the bout 60 to 55, and Judge Horber scored the bout 60 to 54 for the winner by unanimous decision, Elvis Adonisi!
Well, there you have it. Elvis Adonisi, a unanimous winner. I was corrected one judge, the other two must have got around even.
Yes.
But an easy win for Elvis Adonisi.
Gordon Gobber gave it the same way as you did, 60-54, and the others gave 60-55. So a very easy win was Elvis Adonisi. He won that pretty comfortably. Well, that's the way it was. Elvis Adonisi, that's him, pouring in the pressure there, an easy winner.